Ever since I've heard that the best engineering that was ever invented is the human body. I don't know, or I don't remember who this person said this, but it resonated so much with me because in this video, you are going to learn how amazing a human body is. Well, my name is Clantis Dumagute and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video is a long-awaited video about my weight loss challenge where I decided to go vegan for 30 days. So guys, you have heard me speak about this a number of times already this month alone of November that I started a vegan diet. So I went vegan for 30 days. However, it turns out to be 36 days because I started this challenge on the 26th of October 2022, ending it just today, the 30th of November 2022. So without wasting much of your time, I want to delve into every details about this journey. I want to talk about the pros and I also want to talk about the cons. Then I also want to reveal to you guys how much I have lost since the 26th of November. When I started this journey, I was weighing 135 kilograms. A whopping 135 kilograms. Yes, somewhere along the line during this year, I did also try to lose some weight. You guys will remember when I did coffee and lemon challenge and I lost about 7 kilograms. However, due to work and traveling with work, I could not maintain that because every hotel that I had to go to, the lemons were quite expensive and I did not want to get into trouble with our finance department with all these lemons that I would be ordering every single morning and every single evening just so I maintain the weight loss. But anyways, I know there's a huge debate about this coffee and lemon thing, if it works or not. Which brings me to this point before I start this video. I'm going to be making a disclaimer in this video. Guys, I am no expert. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor or an expert around eating. So it's very important for you before you embark upon anything that I'm going to talk about here that you first start consulting with your doctor. If your doctor refers you to a dietitian or nutritionist, please do follow that advice because there are some things that happened to me. However, before all these things did happen to me, I did do my due diligence. I first sat down and I kind of like did my own research about veganism. I've always heard about veganism. Veganism, as far as I'm concerned, it's a lifestyle of some sort where you don't touch anything from an animal. Absolutely anything. That goes for shoes, for clothes, bedding, anything where an animal would have been used in order for us to benefit whatever it is from an animal, a vegan does not touch it. However, there's what you call a vegan diet. Now, vegans, like I said, they don't eat anything. They don't take anything from an animal. There's a difference between a vegetarian and a vegan. A vegetarian does delve into eating animal products like fish, eggs, or something like cheese and stuff like that. But a vegan does not touch any of those things at all. So I decided that I was going to abstract something from the whole vegan lifestyle and I decided to go plant-based. And my plant-based diet, it did not involve me cooking in the beginning. I was supposed to eat everything raw, basically the spinach raw, kale raw, broccoli raw, and anything that had to do with vegetables, I needed to eat them raw to get the benefits and all the other stuff that I needed out of those raw vegetables. But of course, I've never eaten raw vegetable before except for carrot, maybe some few slices of green cabbage or here and there, but I have never sat down and ate a whole plate filled with raw vegetables before. No, that has never happened. However, as I started it, I realized that I don't necessarily like the feel of raw vegetables. So what I would do is I would boil water and then I would just run these raw vegetables for like maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Sometimes if I feel like I really want half crunchy and half cooked, then I will go that route, and I will also drink the au jus or the what you call it, the other word for it, the broth out of those vegetable that I would have boiled. And so that's what I would do. I would eat those. But before I get into that, like, guys, once again, let me make this disclaimer. I'm no expert. I'm just sharing with you my experiences in the past 36 days since I have started, since I have adopted a vegan lifestyle, or a 30-day vegan challenge, as is it called. And this particular challenge is actually 90 days. It's not 30 days or 60 days, it is 90 days. But because I'm testing the water, guys, I will not just get into something and then somehow I find myself getting injured because I thought that I was going to be able to endure 90 days of doing something that I've never done before. I am a carnivore. I eat meat. There's nothing you can tell me about meat. Me, I ate meat, and I never understood vegetarians. I never understood especially vegan people. But trust me, the things that I've learned during this process, incredible. But first, let's get to where all this started. So another thing that I also want to say is that we are human beings and we are different, and we also struggle with different types of illnesses. Some people are diabetic, some people have a certain chronic disease, while others is genetic, while others is something that they acquired out of their lifestyle and things like that. And I also understand that our bodies does not work or function the same, and that is why I do emphasize that you see a specialist before you embark on a diet like this one. All right, so guys, where did it all start? So one day I embarrassed myself. I actually have noticed, but not really noticed, that every time when I'm seated down in the office, or even when I'm seated at home, maybe I'm researching something, maybe concerning work, or researching concerning my true crime channel or this particular channel, I would find myself, when I am breathing, I'll be actually snoring. I remember when I was a kid, or even when I was growing up into my teens, even into my 20s, I used to see people that did that a person is fully awake, but their breathing patterns were very concerning. They would literally snore while they were awake. And then I remember thinking, if anybody catches me this weight and breathing like this, please take the, but here I was that guy that I did not want to be in the future. I'm sitting and I would be snoring while I am seated. That's because important pipes in my throat or esophagus or whatever the case is were getting clogged with fat. And can you imagine when I am flat out asleep during the course of the night? Clearly, I caused an earthquake when I breathed or snored. I did, because my sister used to complain every time I would sleep over at her house. Her bedroom would be on the other side of the house and mine would be on the opposite end, but she could still hear me snore. And she would come back and say, hey dude, you need to take care of your snoring. It's just out of hand. And of course, us who snore, we always deny it at first, even though we know that there is a high possibility that when we are asleep, we snore. And another thing that also kind of like shocked me a little bit was how I breathed as well when I'm seated. There was a time where whenever I breathed, I would go, that double breath thing. Like sometimes I would feel that air was getting cut out. And the second gasp is basically to save my life type of thing. That concerned me a lot, because there was a time where it prolonged a little bit. I couldn't gasp the second time around. Somehow my brain kind of like just stopped, and I felt like I was suffocating, but I managed to breathe. And when I did, it was like kind of way, and I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. Clearly there's something going on inside that I'm unaware of, or maybe I am. It's just that I'm suppressing it because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if I start thinking about the damage that I'm causing myself with the way I eat, especially drinking Coca-Cola, guys, I drink liters of Coca-Cola. Correction, I used to drink liters of Coca-Cola, and I would not be able to function in a day without drinking at least 4 liters in the morning alone. This is before 12 midday. I cannot function without having drank at least 4 liters. If it's 6 liters, yay, I'm having a great day. But by the time I go to bed, imagine what tucks me to bed at night is drinking 2-liter Coke. That's what would tuck me into bed at night. That was not healthy. And we all know that drinking of fizzy drinks does do damage to your body. One of the things that it does to your body, you gain weight, and you also develop other lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, and all the related lifestyle diseases that you may develop out of drinking fizzy drinks, especially Coca-Cola. And there's no shade that I am passing on Coca-Cola. If Coca-Cola is your thing, hey, great. Hey, I also was a Coke person, but I am no longer. For me to convince myself when I was thinking about taking a diet, like a vegan diet, I had to really go back in history and remind myself, what is Coca-Cola made of? How this whole story started. Fortunately, that particular week when I was thinking about discouraging myself from drinking Coca-Cola, what's her name again? Bailey Sarian. She's a true crime YouTuber, but she also does dark history. On that, but it was like the universe was like, don't think too much. Here's a video by Bailey Sarian. She's talking about where Coca-Cola came from, what's made, what are the ingredients of Coca-Cola. I remember I sat down and I watched that video. It was the last YouTube video I watched after I've watched all my South African YouTubers, and then I wanted intentionally to get discouraged from drinking Coca-Cola, and Bailey Sarian did an incredible job, and I remembered, yes, this is the very reason why I am quitting Coca-Cola. The next day, I did not drink Coke. Yes, whenever I don't drink Coke, I would have headaches, I would even shake, I would get irritable, so I would be irritable, I would be cranky, I would not do like the normal things that I need to do simply because I need to drink Coca-Cola. And I'm telling you, day 1 went by, didn't touch it. Day 2, didn't touch it. Day 3 was the most difficult one because I started having withdrawals. I started like, it was as if I was addicted to drugs. Though, if you do go watch Bailey Sarian's video where she's talking about Coca-Cola, you will learn why I was getting these withdrawals, syndromes, and things like that. And I knew that once I reached day 7, my body would have cleansed itself of this toxicity called Coca-Cola that I keep consuming for the past almost 20 years because it's a drink that I never compromised on. I don't drink, I don't smoke. So of course my poison was Coca-Cola. So I had my own addiction, I would say. So day 7 without drinking Coca-Cola was starting to I was starting to get used to the fact that I no longer drink Coke. This is way before I started with my vegan diet. I needed to get rid of this thing that I knew was going to be a hindrance to me doing vegan dieting. So this whole journey began on the 1st of September 2022. I knew that I wanted to lose weight because of the discovery that I made with my breathing pattern, snoring while I'm wide awake, or maybe I'm paying attention and I'm focused, which always made me wonder, how many times have I done this where other people who don't know me, maybe I'm sitting at the airport waiting for a flight, or I'm in a flight and going somewhere and I'm reading a magazine, and the people in the plane, they hear me snore, but when they look around, who is sleeping, and there is nobody but me who is snoring while I am wide awake. That really was the final straw or the one that broke the camel's back, and that's where it led. So in September then, I started reading and watching YouTube videos about the best way to lose weight. And I kept coming across videos where they were talking about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, basically, it is where there's a pattern of how you eat, and then hours in between that separates your next meal. So the one that was highly recommended was eating twice a day and building a 16-hour gap since the last time you ate. A 16-hour gap. So for me, my 16-hour gap was from 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. the following day. That was my 16 hours. But the whole point of this intermittent fasting was to lead you to 1 meal a day, which is called OMAD, O-M-A-D, 1 meal a day. So basically that is what OMAD means, 1 meal a day. So it basically leads towards that. So I started on that. Remember guys, in one of my story times, I did mention that I did fast for 40 days and 40 nights because I belonged to this particular church that was quite strict, and it followed the Bible to the letter. And so when Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights because he was ducking and diving Satan's temptations, so we also did something like that. So I remember some tactics that I used to, that I incorporated to basically endure the fasting. So I incorporated that in the intermittent fasting. That is why I was able to, my first meal of the day would be at 2 p.m. and my last meal of the day would be at 11 p.m. and then my next meal will be the following day at 2 p.m. And I got used to this very, very quickly because I think by week 2 in September, I was already hooked. And I was now moving towards OMAD, 1 meal a day. And I don't know how that all happened. There was a time where I would just completely forget to eat, either because I am busy at work or I intentionally decided that, okay, I'm going to eat once a day. And I had to choose between eating at 2 or at 11 p.m. I decided 11 p.m. would be the time that I would eat because an hour after 11 p.m. I go to bed. So OMAD, how it works is that you eat an hour before you go to bed. Why? So that during the course of the night, when the body is busy fixing and putting things where they need to put and wasting off what needs to be wasted, that's where the fast begins as well, because now the digestion is part and parcel of all the functions that the body does while you are asleep when it's fixing itself. So when you wake up in the following day, you are hungry because all the food that you ate last night got digested away, and the body used whatever it needed and then disposed of what it did not need. So then you wake up hungry the following day. So then I would not eat breakfast, I would not eat lunch, I would not eat a snack, I would not eat when I get from work. My first meal would be at 11 p.m. And I did this for 2 weeks. And while I was doing that during September, then I started reading even more about the best way to lose weight. And I came across vegan challenge, the 90-day vegan challenge. And I even came across some videos of people who embarked on these particular diets, and they were giving their testimonies about, and they would show how big they were or talk about how big they were and how they embarked on the vegan diet for 90 days and where they are. And the results, incredible. And I would get motivated, and I thought, okay, maybe this is what I need to embark on too if I really need to lose weight, because I did buy the slimming tea. I did buy apple cider vinegar. I did do, of course, the coffee and lemon, which I think it works, even though there's a debate around that. Scientists say there's no proof, but anyways, for me, I know it did do something, and I'm not saying or disputing what the scientists are saying, because I'm no scientist, I'm no expert around this, but I did lose 7 kilograms. I did. It's just that I gained it back to 135 because, like I said earlier on, work and traveling with work. So anyways, guys, that is the reason why I started the vegan diet, because I got convinced by the videos that I was watching, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to start on the 1st of November and I'm just going to do 30 days. And from there, of course, it's going to be December. As you guys know, in South Africa, in December, it's all about eating, party, and all that stuff with family. And then I was worried that I was going to basically gain everything that I had lost. But my mind since changed, and we'll talk about that as I continue with some of the points that I've written down. So if you see me looking down, I am reading on the notes so that I can basically follow everything that I had experienced and what I did. Okay, so like I said, guys, my initial weight was 135 kilograms. I will put what that means in pounds as well as stones, or wherever you are in the world or how you read a scale. I will put that on the screen, what 135 kilograms is in pounds or in stones, and how much I've lost in pounds or in stones, and all that sort of stuff. So please do forgive me that it's not something that we are taught at school. Okay, I'll leave that part. So basically, as I said, how I gained all that weight was because I drank a lot of Coca-Cola. I think as well, it had to do with me emotionally as well. As some of you guys know, that I am a recluse. I'm a loner. I don't have friends. I don't go out. I'm indoors, week in, weekend out. Basically, weekend in, weekend out, holiday in, holiday out. I'm always indoors by myself. So I never thought of taking care of myself. I didn't see the point of taking care of myself, like making myself look attractive, make myself look good, so that other people who may find themselves attracted to me, shoot their shot. So I never thought about that. I didn't care about that either. It also reflected in the way I dressed. I'm a very, very, very simple person when it comes to fashion. I shop at Jet, I shop at Mr. Price, I shop at Pep Store. As long as my body is covered, I'm all good. This shirt that I'm wearing is the only one that I bought at Edgar's. In fact, I bought, I think 4 or 5 or something of that, like that, because I love golf t-shirts. If it was according to me, I would not cut my hair. I would not take care of my face and stuff like that. The reason why I do my facials is because I don't want to gain pimples again, or acne or stuff like that, which I have not done in November at all, guys, at all. We will talk about why I glow, people. Me glowing, and many of you have said, oh, Clantus, you are glowing, and I'm like, yes, I am. We'll talk about that. So I was very much unmotivated to look attractive, and I didn't care for it, because who am I trying to impress? I'm not trying to impress anybody. Even at the office, I'm not impressing anybody. On the streets, wherever I am, I'm not trying to impress anybody. So somehow I let myself go when it came to my body weight, came to my vanity. I just did not care. And I'm still content to this very day with how I look. It's just that the weight part concerned me, because that means health-wise, I was in jeopardy. That is why I did what I did with the vegan diet. So like I said, I've been doing my research. I've been watching YouTube videos about dieting, the best diet there is. And it was the theme of veganism was like leading. And I was like, oh, this is me who is not going to be eating meat. Do you understand when I don't eat meat, it's not good? But to think that I'm going to be a vegan for 30 days, yeah, maybe I can do this. Let's try it out. This is the 25th. I'm making the final decision, because on the 1st of November, I begin. But now, because I'm a guy who does not like to suffer. I want to start the suffering now. So the following day I woke up, that was it. I decided I'm starting today to be a vegan. You guys did see my grocery haul on the 26th of October, where I showed you guys that this is my new journey of losing weight. This is a weight loss journey challenge that I am taking going to the 30th of November. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's check it out. I did that big grocery haul, guys. That was a huge mistake. We live in South Africa, load shedding. Most of all that stuff that you guys saw on that video rotted. I had to throw a lot of those fruit and vegetables because they rotted. So another thing that probably you guys have noticed about my apartment when I started doing Vlogtober, you did not see a refrigerator. The reason why you did not see a refrigerator in my kitchen is because I got rid of it. I got rid of my refrigerator because my refrigerator, guys, had nothing stacked in all those compartments, including the deep freezer, which I had to adjust so that it does not overfreeze my 2-liter Cokes that will fill up that. So in September, like I said, I decided no more Coca-Cola. So I had to throw away all those 2 liters. I think there were over 40 of them or something like that, all down the drain. Everything down the drain, everything. And then I got rid of my refrigerator because it triggers me. Every time I see a fridge, I see Coke. I think of Coca-Cola. And so in order for me not to feel like that and self-sabotage, let me get rid of it. So I got rid of my refrigerator. I gave it away. So I did not have a refrigerator. So some of those stuff that I bought, some of them I kept them here in the house. Some of them I kept them in the work refrigerator. I had to go, it's like, hey guys, colleagues, can I put some of my stuff here so that they don't rot? Because I had chopped many of them and I put them in these, what do you call these, airbags? I think they are called. And then I would just neatly pack them in the refrigerator at work. So the refrigerator at work is huge, it's double door. So there was a section of it that was always empty. So I occupied that. So when load shedding happened, and sometimes our load shedding, especially around where I work, the electricity can go on, the electricity can go off for hours. Instead of 2 hours, it can be 6 hours, sometimes even 8 hours. Can you imagine? This is a business district, but Eskom has no respect for us. But anyways, that's besides the point. So most of those things were rotted away and I had to throw them away. So the piece of advice I would give you, never buy them the way I did. Buy them as per what you're going to eat tonight. If you're going to eat just fruit salad tonight, just then buy your fruits and then you chop and eat them for dinner or for breakfast or for dinner and breakfast, or whichever way you are going to take up this challenge. So don't buy in that type of bulk. Load shedding will happen to you. So of course I needed to also consult a dietitian and a nutritionist. Fortunately, these two people, I happen to know them. I did speak to them about what I'm about to do, and they said, okay, come to my office. Funny enough, they both said, come to my office, we need to do some tests, and also we'll guide you on this journey because your vitamins are very important, especially B12. So of course we did the test. I was normal. And I think around week 1, I started having some deficiencies. I went to the dietitian. The dietitian did some tests and said, okay, you are lacking protein here. At least eat 2 eggs, 3 eggs, or even 4 eggs and gain that protein back. Even though, guys, vegetables, funny enough, they do have proteins. When the protein that you get from the cow or beef, it's actually not the meat that provides you with the protein. It's actually the grass that the cow or the sheep or the pig, whatever, eats that provides you with those proteins. Can you imagine? I was shocked too. I was like, what? They were like, yes, of course you're not going to eat grass as a human being. So where do you find these vitamins? You find these vitamins on spinach, kale, collard greens and anything that is green, like green cabbage and lettuce, cucumbers, you will get these proteins. However, that does not mean they are sufficient for the body to function or to continue to function. Therefore, important that you also take your doctor or your dietitian or nutritionist will then advise you, will give you a list of vitamins that you would have to go and purchase at Discount, Clicks, or whatever pharmacy that that you use. So that is exactly what had happened, because even today when I did my test, it showed that my B12 it's a bit artificial because I was supplementing versus having it naturally, and naturally you get it from meat. Those are the things that you also will have to be aware of. Okay, so let's talk about the pros and cons of turning into a vegan. So of course, you have to prepare your mind. You have to prepare your body as well. With me, I started preparing my body when I started doing intermittent fasting, where it ended up being a one-day meal. It ended up being a one-day meal. When I started becoming a vegan, I was already eating once a day, no longer eating twice a day, which also made it very easy for me to fast, because there were days where I would fast for like 48 hours during this vegan diet. That is something that I would talk about. For me, it wasn't like it was more like, let me help this process of veganism to lose as much weight as I can, and so I would do like 48-hour fasting. So here are some pros and cons about losing weight. So let me start with the cons, because I feel this one is very important to put out there, because the pros, you probably already know what the pros are, but nobody tells you about the cons. The vegans will tell you, go vegan, but they never tell you the truth about the things that you are going to go through in the first 3 weeks, or the first 2 weeks actually, or even the first week. Like I said earlier, our bodies function differently. So with me, it happened almost immediately. So the first week when I started, I have not eaten meat in 7 days. The first thing that happened to me was my face. My face started breaking out. Suddenly, I was back in high school with all these acne. You can even still see, they are recovering now. Now I'm recovering, okay? This part of my face, acne, even up here, even though now they are going away, acne, even on my back, my butt. I was like, whoa, what's happening? Then I quickly realized that my body is busy detoxing all the impurities, all the stuff that I've been eating and consuming from the meat. The body was getting rid of them, and they were coming out through my pores, and also my urine. I have never seen my urine that color before. Maybe because I drank a lot of Coke. So if you drink Coke constantly, when you pee, your pee is always white. Like, not clear, not white. It's always clear. Now, tell me, I know that urine is yellow, but yellow to almost orange? Even when you look at the toilet bowl, it's like, what color is it? Because it almost blackish as well. You're like, what is going on in there? Then you realize that your body is basically ejecting all the impurities that the body has been storing, or maybe has been struggling to get rid of. And now that I'm taking a clean diet, now they get the chance to eject, because even my stool looked different, very, very different. And I was like, and then whenever I touched my sweat as well, it had an odor. My sweat had an odor, and I was like, oh my God, we need to run to the dietitian. I sat down, I told her, she's like, yeah, your body is basically detoxing. I was like, and the pimples, detoxing. It's part of detoxing. All of this is going to go away at some point. Do not worry. Then, of course, we did the test, the blood thing, and I was still on the right track. But like I said, a week when I started, I had a deficiency in protein. So I was told to eat eggs. I ate eggs. And then I was fine. But I only did that only once, because I was committed in this thing, guys. I was so committed, and eating eggs as well made me feel a little bit guilty. It also made me feel like I'm going backwards instead of forward, and I did not like that feeling. And I'm not that kind of person that enjoys having feelings like that. I want to push and push through. And let's see, if anything happens, it happens. If it doesn't, okay, it didn't happen. But anyways, I kept pushing. So like I said, you will have, the cons are you're going to struggle with vitamin deficiencies, especially B12. B12, you should never, ever lose it. Very important that you always get yourself some supplements for that. The second con is that you're always hungry. It doesn't matter how much you eat. That's the thing about vegan diet. Your metabolism, it's like, it becomes on overdrive. You eat something, you're already hungry. You eat something, you're already hungry. But that's another, which is a great sign to show that your metabolism is fast, is no longer slow, which basically gets you to gain weight. So you are always hungry, and then you are always eating either fruit, or you are chewing on a carrot, or you are chewing on a celery stick. You are always chewing something because you are constantly hungry. If you don't like the constant feeling of hunger, you really have to work at this. Your mindset is so important for the success of this diet to work. Con number 4, constipation. Constipation is something that just happens a week after you started the vegan diet. I understand that your large intestine, they are the ones that are responsible with disposing of waste and things of that nature. And also your large intestine happen to have these bacteria. I forgot what it's called. And so my bacteria in my large intestines went wild, because some of the things that you eat, of course, some of the vegetables and fruit that you are eating, they don't have fiber. And fiber is so important in your diet. Hence, they talk about balanced diet where there's this and this and this. And fiber would also be one of the things that you are going to hear about. So now my large intestine was just filled with air. And I kept running to the bathroom thinking, oh my God, only to find out it's nothing but a bomb of air. Nothing but a bomb of air. And that was so discomforting, because I started developing abdominal pain because of the bloating. And every time I tried to go sit, it was so painful. I must tell you, it was so painful. Of course, I consulted, and then things were broken down to me scientifically why that is happening. And then we started experimenting with, okay, now let's break down these foods that you are eating until we find the combination that is going to work with your large intestines. But guys, the thing with constipation with some bodies like mine, there comes a time where you develop piles, hemorrhoids. I developed piles on the second week, going into the third week of my vegan diet. I've never had piles before. I've always heard about piles. I have never felt such excruciating pain in my life before. It was as if whenever I went to the bathroom, I was giving birth to rocks. Because screaming was part and parcel of me doing number 2. And I knew something had to be done about what I was going through. Of course, the first place I went to, took my medical aid, ran to a private hospital that is not too far from me, and checked myself in. And I was like, whatever you do, doctor, get this thing out of me. Get it out. I am not leaving this hospital until it's out. Of course, before they could do anything, they have to first examine you. There are some tests that they will run, and one of those tests, people, let me tell you something. You go on all your fours for this, for this one. You will be on your fours, like your knees and your hands and your butt in the air. And you must also, there's a certain position that you have to take. Basically, the doctor will tell you arch your abdominal. So there's inward arching and there's outward arching. So when you do this, you have to do an inward arching. So when you do an inward arching on your all fours, guess what happens to your butt? It's up there in the air and cracks all open, and that little knob in there is right there for the doctor to see everything that he needs to see. But one thing about me, guys, my butt crack smells like Garden of Eden, because I will never be caught dead with my butt crack stinking, even when I was a big boy. For me, that's a no. So I knew that it's clean and he's not going to have issues. Even though he's wearing a mask on, he will not have any issues when he sees all of that. And secondly, I was a little bit embarrassed, but the pain that I was feeling overwhelmed everything else. So I didn't care. All I wanted him to do was to get the thing off me. And so next thing I knew, he had some kind of let me show you. It's like this, and it had a head exactly like this, but here at the tip it has a camera. So he had to, and then he said, before I get to the piles, the first thing that I need to check first is if this is not colon cancer symptoms, because Black people are prone to colon cancer, and we also do not visit the hospital or do checkups of such nature. But I was like, isn't that affecting a lot of African Americans? I've never heard that colon cancer affects Black people in general, but apparently all of us Black people. Then I was like, okay, cool. He pushed the camera even further, checked all the colon, if that's the large intestine. Okay, didn't find anything. Then eventually got to where my pain is. Oh, people. He was like, oh my, the first thing he said, oh my goodness. I'm like, what? He's like, no, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. You must have been going through hell. I'm like, child, you have no idea what I've been through. Let me show you. Prior to going to the doctor, when I was getting this, because I went to a pharmacy and I was like, hey, I'm having pain in my rectum. What's happening? They're like, oh, it's possible that you have hemorrhoids. I'm like, hemorrhoids? What is that? They're like piles. And so, of course, in the pharmacy, they'll say, okay, we recommend that you take this or you take that. And this should help you to relieve you from the pain, because piles, people, sometimes they come and they go on their own after a couple of days, sometimes a couple of weeks, depending on the texture or how it developed. Sometimes it's just a scratch because of a hot stool. Sometimes it's the hemorrhoids will then develop into blood clot, which it was my case, and then you're going to have that constant pain in the back. So let me show you what I was given by the pharmacy. People, the things that I had to go through. So the pharmacy basically gives me this medication. It's called Anusol. It's set pile or something like that. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, there you go. This, I'll show you inside how it looks like. And the second thing that I was given in a long box was this. People, I've been through hell and back. This tube, let me just show you. oh my, the reason why it's all folded like this is because I was using it. The pain, people. So basically, it's also annual. Okay, this is also annual. Guys, as you can also see, it's got this pipe right here. Where do you think that pipe goes in? Where do you think this pipe goes in? Yes, you do it by yourself. You shove it in there and then you press. And when you press, something like this comes. You see this? This is an ornament. What do you call it? An ointment. So you leave it in there. You leave it inside you. And it basically helps relieve the pain. It also helps with when you do number 2. It just, you know, smoothly. And then it basically protects you from the pile, from feeling pain from the stool that is going to come out. Usually it's hard because I was always constipated. And when I did number 2, it was like I was giving birth to rocks. Now this one, when you open it inside, it has people, I've been through it. It's got these things, but basically what you do is like a bullet. It looks like a bullet. You just tear one. Of these, as you guys can see. But because I don't have nails, because you're supposed to basically open it here and then pull. Now I don't have nails. I bite my nails. Yes, I'm a nail biter. So I can't pull this plastic thing. So what I would do is I would use scissors. I would cut here. I will show you how it looks like. I will cut here and I will cut around the bullet like this, and then I would look see, and then I'll just separate this plastic. Okay, then I'll separate the plastic, exposing the bullet. Okay, this is how the bullet looks like. And as you can see, it's got like a bit of a hole in there. This is where you basically hold it like this. And then inside your thing, and you push it in into your rectum. When I say I've been through it, I've been through it. So that also assists with pain relief and also assists with making the stool move smoothly. So basically this, I'm told, is like buttery. You shouldn't keep it in like a hot area because it will melt. It's like butter. So it needs to stay in a cool place. So that is what I tried. As you guys can see, this tube it's almost finished. That is why I had to fold it so that I can reach where the chemical is. Okay, I no longer use it. So then I told the doctor, no, there is no way. But before I even got to the doctor himself, so the pharmacist, of course, they're gonna ask questions like this and like that. Of course, I told them the truth. I'm on a vegan diet, and this diet has done 1, 2, 3, and I'm experiencing constipation. I remember I went to Discam and they recommended this medication right here. It's called Laxin syrup. So sweet. It's like drinking sugar. It says for relief of constipation. And it looks like a cough mixture bottle. There it is. It's a syrup indeed. You take that about 30 mils of 5 mils or 15 mils. Basically, it just helps to soften the stool. With me, it did not work at all. Not once did it work. So tossed that aside, then went to another pharmacist and they recommended this. It's called Difalac Dry It is 10 kilogram lactose crystalline powder. It's in sachets. If you open inside, you see, it's a sachet. It's a sachet. Inside, it's powder. Does this work? It does, but it doesn't do the job all the way. And of course, by all the way, I don't mean like I want it wet, wet. No, I want some softness in my stool so that I do not feel the pain at the end, basically. So because this was also not working, because if you read it, it says that, what does it say? It says, symptomatic treatment of constipation and portal systematic encephalopathy naturally restores intestinal balance. That's basically what this one is for. In case you struggle with constipation, how do you put this so that, whatever. If you struggle with constipation, this does work, but for me, it did not do the full job that I wanted it to do. So now that we've tried all these medications, what exactly worked for me that gave me the relief I wanted? This. Freshen. Freshen, people. That, it's laxatives. Now, this one, I had to plead the Fifth Amendment. This is American Fifth Amendment, not the South African right to silence. The Fifth Amendment. And the doctor was like, I'm like, I'm pleading the fifth on this one because I know what you're going to say. But it does the job for me. The problem though with laxatives, you cannot take them every single day. There's no way you can take laxatives on a daily basis. Even though freshens, they are not aggressive like all the other ones, like Laxa, is it Laxa? Or all the other laxatives. This one is quite gentle. And what I liked about Freshen is that it softened the stool soft. And then when it excreted things, the pile will not get activated. I will not have this pain for hours and hours and hours where I'm like literally crying tears because I'm in pain, which eventually I knew I had to go to the doctor because the time frame that I was having the piles, it has expired. They say after 3 days, go see a doctor. So for me, all these things were happening in a space of 5 days. I kept postponing because I thought, okay, they'll go away on their own, and they did not. And then I ended up at the hospital where they shoved that camera in my butt, where first they had to check for colon cancer, eventually say, yeah, you got hemorrhoids. And they removed. I said, remove it, doctor. The doctor was like, no, we're gonna have to make an appointment before we can do this operation. I was like, child, remove this thing out of me. I'm not leaving here. Otherwise, find me a different doctor. Let me. I want these things out of me. So fortunately, the secretary comes and tells the doctor that his next appointment had canceled. So it was like the universe was like, child, you have suffered. We will just cast this one aside, postpone this, push that, and have this thing removed out of you, because I walked out of that hospital without hemorrhoids anymore. Yes, I was struggling with the recovery pain, which was not excruciating as the piles were. And I remember when he injected me with the anesthetic, suddenly I felt, just like angels going in the background, because that was the first time in a week where I had peace in my body. Peace. I did not know that the rectum can be this painful if it's compromised by something. I never, ever knew. Never knew. Okay. But yeah, so it was removed. I went and I recovered. But now the question was, what exactly was causing constipation? We had to find the foods, those from the fruit and vegetables. And I started eating them one by one, just to check what is it that was not working with my body. And I was also preventing having a second round of piles, because I never wanted them again, ever wanted them again. So ginger, I always have this, guys. Always have this. This is now my tea. I drink, all I do is just take maybe this portion and then I'll crush it, I'll make tea and drink. That has become my life. I love ginger and I always undermine ginger, but ginger is the best for anti-inflammatory. If I knew that I needed to drink ginger tea, I don't think I would have developed piles. That I believe. And then of course, I started juicing as well. So I would juice every other day. And carrots were my friends when it came to juicing. These things, they have the best juice. Did you know that carrots had a lot of water? These things, you put them in a blender and then you drain, you have carrot juice. Amazing. And my eyesight, whenever I drank carrot juice, always great. The biggest surprise for me, you remember, you guys, I always told you I don't like bananas. Bananas and I are not friends. But have I changed my mind? No, I have not changed my mind about its texture on my lips. But I am tolerating bananas. I'm tolerating them. I still don't like them. I tolerate them because that's another thing that they do in my large intestine. They soften things up, and I love that. Of course, green apples for the green juice. And I'm still stubborn about this because this gives me constipation. I love pears. And of course, red apples. These are my favorite friends. And this is not an orange. This is a grapefruit. Hated it, but it also works very well with my large intestines. Love it. And another thing that I also did not like, but it does great with my large intestines, is pineapple juice. Sometimes I chop them into pieces, and I've learned how to remove the things that cut your tongue and your lips. I love pineapple now. Yes, I did say love. I love pineapple. And of course, broccoli. As I said, it's for the vitamin purposes. That's why, and protein. That's why I keep broccoli. And of course, spinach. I could not get kale where I went to. So spinach is part and parcel of my diet because also it does not bloat me. Kale also doesn't bloat me. Cabbage, of course, it doesn't bloat me. All those are good stuff. And of course, guys, whenever you do this vegan diet, don't think the vegan diet on its own is going to fasten the process of you losing weight. No, you still have to do other exercises. Like me, I'll show you. I started developing this part with my dumbbells. These are 5 kilograms. I don't know if you can see. After I'm done with my other exercises, I would use these dumbbells. And of course, guys, I want you to invest in a step. Can you invest in this? This is a step. Okay, this is a step. I bought this one at Mr. Price Sports, I think it's called, for about 600 Rand or whatever it was. Please invest in this. This, make it your best friend, this step thing. Also invest in a skipping rope, people. Invest in this. It's very, very important if you are on a journey of losing weight. Another thing that I also noticed, of course, the pimples or the acne started burning out or like drying off, and then my skin started getting this glow look. And the softness, and it's the softness for me, that this natural moisturizer, because I don't put anything on my face. I wash it, leave it like that, and it's moisturized. It doesn't get ashy or feels like it's ashy and things like that. No, it does not happen. Know why? Because of the green stuff that I would turn into juice. For example, the 2 green apples, ginger, and lemon. Squeeze, put into the into a blender, and drain the juices. Those juices are responsible for my skin. They are my skin has never looked this clear in a very long time. Even though I do use those products that I've shown you guys during my Vlogtober, even my skin itself, like my entire body, it is different. It feels different. If somebody had to come and romance me, they'll be like touching my skin all the time. They'll be like, oh my God, what is it that you're doing with your skin? Because I think that's what I would do. I'll be all over this person's skin. But anyways, it's the green juice, people. It's the green juice. So guys, that is how I got to where I got with this vegan diet. But the results, let's talk about the results, people. The results, I did capture them in snippets of videos. So I took 3 videos where I was weighing in fact, yeah, three. The first one was 15 days into November. So November 15th, I weighed myself to see how far I've gotten since I've started the diet. And then I weighed myself again on the 26th. Because remember, I started the vegan diet on the 26th of October, but officially was supposed to have started on the 1st of November. So on the 26th, I weighed myself, shocked myself out of my mind. And then I also weighed myself again today on the 30th of November. And mind is still blown about how far I've gotten. In fact, you will learn that I actually did get to my goal, like my top goal weight, but something happened in between, which you will hear in my report in the next scene that I'm going to be showing you guys. So guys, here we are. We're about to weigh myself. Today is indeed the 30th of November 2022. This is day 30th since I've started my vegan diet. However, because I started the diet on the 26th of October 2022, this makes about 35 days or so. So guys, this diet was not just me eating fruit and vegetables, raw vegetables, but I was also doing some exercises to kind of like supplement to ensure that my weight loss was even faster. However, just doing your vegan diet alone does also fasten the process of losing weight, but it is a gradual loss. It's not going to be something that is going to be a puff, yeah, you're now slim. No, you will have to commit to it, and you will not have to eat meat or anything from an animal. That also includes dairy like cheese, milk, etc. and so on. So you have to strictly commit to this vegan diet for 30 days because it is a 30-day vegan challenge. Now let's scale my, no, is it weigh? Let me weigh myself so that I can show you guys where I'm at now. On the 30th of November 2022, from 135 kilograms on the 26th of October 2022. So let's do some serious maths here because the scale will be doing some serious maths along with us. So here we go. I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness. Okay guys, most of you are familiar with this scale by now. This is the thing that I'm going to climb on and it's going to tell me how much I weigh. And so as you guys can see, the scale is off. So the moment I climb on it, it's going to start showing digits and then it will lock, and whatever it locks, that is my current weight. So here we go. The nerves are on fire. Here we go. Okay, let's move my little ugly toenails. Okay guys, that is the final weight. I weigh 113 kilograms, people. 113 kilograms. Just to make sure that indeed it is 113. Let's go on it again. I am speechless. I am speechless. Hey guys, so as you guys can see, I'm just as shocked as you are. 113 kilograms. That is my current weight, guys. I cannot believe this. From 135 to I thought, no, there's no way I'm going to go below the 120 kilogram. I thought maybe I would be around 122, 123 kilograms. That's what I had told myself. But when the scale surpassed the 120s and went straight to 117 and all that, I was like, what happened? This thing is working. So guys, thank you all so much. Yes, I know this video was long. It was going to be long because, of course, we're talking about something that can potentially help you if you are interested in losing weight, particularly if you are going to set out some New Year's resolutions about weight loss. So you can take some leaf out of this, or you can take something, I don't know. I hope that you will consult your doctor, nutritionist, dietitian, or somebody that is an expert in this field. Don't do it yourself. As you guys saw, the consequences I had to pay for, I don't know, not because it's consequences for not consulting. I did consult, but it's the way my body reacted. So I don't know how your body is going to react. I think it's what you would call side effects. My side effects was constipation, which led to piles and all that stuff. So thank you all so much for watching. Good luck with your own journey of losing weight in 2023. And your support always means a lot to me. Thank you all so much. Love you and goodbye.